So I was having a conversation with my stepbrother the other day, right? And he's someone that dabbles with watching corn, I guess. Like he's not addicted to it, but he'll watch it like once or twice or three times a month or whatever it may be. Like he'll stop for a while and then he'll go on a binge of maybe doing it for like a week and then stop for a while and do it. And after I told him this, what I'm about to tell you guys in this presentation, he's now quitting it for 3 months straight at least because he understands what is actually happening to his brain and he understands why he's in the position that he's in life and he wants to change his life. Now, keep in mind, this helped me change my life. And once I was actually aware of what was happening, I was able to make six figures. I was able to get my dream physique. I was able to actually lock in and change my life. And it's simply because I understood this, all right? So this is the hidden cost of instant pleasure. We're going to be talking about dopamine addictions. Most people aren't lazy or unmotivated. They're simply just addicted to dopamine. And once you can become aware of the problem, you can change your behavior, okay? Once you understand the consequences, you will change your behavior. Because if I told you that if you do this action every single day, you're going to go to hell, you would change the action right away. But you're not really aware of what is happening and what the life you're going to live if you continue to do these quick dopamine activities. So I'm going to explain to you what exactly is happening in your brain. So first off, let's start off. If the dopamine is easy, life becomes hard. But if the dopamine is earned, life becomes easy. The problem is most people are so addicted to dopamine, they have a hard life. They might have an easy life because they scroll, chill, do whatever, but the bills are hard. They're out of shape, so their relationship is messed up because their wife doesn't love them anymore. They got all these different problems, all right? You don't want that to be you. You don't want that to be you. You want to have a good life. You want to be rich. Like if you're watching this video, you probably want to be rich. You probably want to be jacked and shredded. You want to be successful. You want to be the best version of yourself. And this right here is going to help you become the best version of yourself, all right? So first off, once I understood the true consequences of fast dopamine, I was able to quit watching corn. I was able to go celibate for 6 months, continuously work towards my goals every single day, get my dream physique, make six figures, and help my stepbrother quit watching corn as well. And he also makes money now. He's making like 6 or 7K a month. So if you guys want to live that life, that dream life that you always see on social media, it's not that you're lazy or unmotivated. You have these big ambitious goals. You're just not fulfilling those goals because you're addicted to fast dopamine. And if you want success, you need to practice delayed gratification and you can't be addicted to dopamine. So I'm going to show you how to change your behavior. All right. So here is a quick graphic example of what your day can look like. So first off, you need to become aware and know why. Once you become aware, you can change your behavior. And I want you guys to understand this. A habit is something that you subconsciously do, you automatically do because you're trying to solve a problem from the past and your brain automatically makes you do this behavior. So you have all these problems, but you've already solved these problems so many times in your past that it does this automatic behavior. And I'll go over that in the next slide, okay? But it doesn't make it, you'll understand. So let's say you start off your day in the morning. You're chilling. The first thing you do is either scroll or eat junk food. When you scroll or eat junk food, these are high dopamine releasing activities because it's easily accessible. Again, if the dopamine is easy, it makes it become hard. So junk food, sugary foods, you do this in the morning. You release a high amount of dopamine. After you crash, you're done, eating junk food or done scrolling. You try and get some work done, whether it be, you got extra work to do for your side hustle, your business, or you got extra stuff to do because you were at work late last night and you just have stuff you have to do. You try and do this for a little, but your brain had that release of high dopamine, so now it's chasing that high again. Again, once you release that high dopamine, now your brain craves it even more. So what you do is you try and work, but now you get bored or whatever, and you're releasing that high dopamine again. Now you watch corn. Now this is one of the worst things you can do, and people always ask me like, bro, like why is corn so bad for me? Like why can't I watch it like every once in a while? You're releasing so much dopamine when you watch corn because it's easily accessible. It's one of the most addicting things. It's the easiest thing you can do. It's literally on your phone and it releases so much dopamine. So when you do this and you get that post nut clarity, that's that crash. But after this, it's basically impossible to get any work done because your brain just released so much dopamine from this high. It is craving that for the rest of the day. So whenever you try and do any earned dopamine activity, going to the gym, eating healthy food, something that takes problem solving, your brain just wants that dopamine again. So then that's when you start scrolling, or you start playing video games, or you start gambling, or you drink, or you smoke, because you're chasing that high of what you had earlier, watching corn. So if you start your day off and the first thing you do is scroll or eat sugary foods like waffles, pancakes, syrup, cereal, that's a high dopamine releasing activity, and it's going to make it hard for you to actually focus and get work done that is going to lead you to the life that you want to live. Again, if the life that you want to live is be successful, get in shape, be the best version of yourself, you have to cut out all the bullshit activities, at least for the morning, because it's going to make it hard if you're always chasing that high over and over again. Okay, so become aware. Remember this graphic. This is what your day looks like. If your day looks like this, you need to become aware of what is actually happening. You're releasing a dopamine, you're crashing, your brain wants this dopamine again, so you release a lot of dopamine, you're crashing, and you're just chasing it for the rest of the day. Okay? Another part of this step one, like become aware. What is the trigger? You don't watch corn, you don't eat these sugary foods all the time, you don't play video games, you don't smoke or drink because it's just something you really want to do. Most of the time, it's not something because you really want to do. It's either because you're bored, you're stressed out, you have something that's stressing you out, or you're in extreme mental discomfort. Right? Most people watch corn just because they're bored. Or if you're stressed, you have work. Your wife is, stressing you out. You got your kids stressing you out. You got school stressing you out. Whatever it is, there's probably a stress in your life, or you're bored, or you have discomfort. So discomfort thing could be like, you have this thing in your business, or you have a presentation you have to make for your business or for work that you have to give to your boss or whatever, but there's a problem you can't really solve. You do some research, but you run into this mental discomfort where you can't really figure out the problem, so then you just start scrolling, you start playing video games, you start watching porn, you're doing all these high releasing dopamine activities to take you to basically mask or numb the pain of having to figure that out because you're in discomfort. So these are the triggers that are going to make you release these high dopamine activities, right? For example, like I really didn't want to do this presentation today because it's an earned dopamine thing. Like it doesn't give me fast dopamine. So it's stressing me out or causing mental discomfort. All I want to do is scroll. But once I become aware of, what that's actually going to do, which is just make me chase that high dopamine for the rest of the day. Now it's like, okay, it makes it easier for me to be like, okay, I have to do this. It makes me change my behavior and break out of that habit of just automatically scrolling. Okay. And this is the only way you can break out of this loop is if you become aware of what your trigger is. So the second slide is a cycle. The brain keeps repeating what feels good, even if it makes your life worse. So your brain is working against you, bro. You need to step out, become conscious of what is happening, and fight that urge, or else you're going to cook yourself for the rest of your life, and you're not going to get the life that you want to live. The people that are successful, they have so much, they practice delayed gratification for a while. They can't be addicted to dopamine. So what happens is you start off, you get bored, you're stressed out, or you have some type of mental discomfort. So that makes you scroll, eat junk food, watch corn. Like, bro, that's why they call it stress eating, because you get stressed from whatever it may be and you start eating because you release a lot of dopamine. So whenever you get stressed, bored, or you have mental discomfort, you need an activity that is going to release dopamine quickly. Some people eat, which is why they call it stress eating. So when you do this, it gives you a quick relief and a comfort. Now, when you get that quick relief and comfort, you're going to literally crave this all day long. You're craving it now. Now you really want it. Your brain really, really wants it. This is going to lead to less focus, drive, and motivation to do the earned dopamine activities that are actually going to lead you to the life that you want to live. Working on your side hustle, your business, going to the gym, eating healthy foods. Those aren't quick dopamine activities, but they actually lead to the life that you want to live. So once you have the less drive, focus, and motivation, then you get bored, stressed out, and mental discomfort again. Then you do this, and it leads to that quick relief and the comfort. Okay, and it's going to continue in this loop. This loop is dangerous, and the reason it's so dangerous is because you're unaware of what is happening. And like I was explaining earlier, habits are subconscious activities that we do to try and solve past problems. So The problem is you get bored, stress, or discomfort, so your habit is to scroll, eat junk food, or watch porn. Okay? That's what you subconsciously do. Once you can break out of that subconscious loop and you can start to consciously think about it, now you'll understand and you'll become aware that when you get bored, you have a lot of stress or discomfort. The worst thing you can do is a high dopamine releasing activity. It's just all about awareness. Once you become aware of what is happening, you can now change your behavior. Most people can't change their behavior because they are unaware of what is happening. But like I said, once you become aware that you're just going to chase that high dopamine activity, now you know you need to change it, or else you're just going to continue to cook the rest of your day. Step two is interrupt and break the loop. Okay. So the biggest thing is awareness. Once you become aware, you can now pause and think about what you have to do. Pausing weakens that automatic behavior, again, which is the subconscious behavior that we do. We just scroll or eat junk food or play video games or watch porn. Once you pause, it weakens that automatic, you know, thing that we do. Even delaying it a couple minutes is going to reduce its power, reduce that urge to scroll, watch video games, watch or play video games, watch porn, whatever it is, stress eat. It's going to delay that urge a little bit by at least acknowledging, what is happening. Okay, and then this is where it comes down to self control because now you need to make the decision. But the problem is most people can't make that decision because the decision is made for them in their unconscious mind. They're subconsciously doing these activities. But once you become aware, now you can actually make the decision. So it starts with boredom, stress or discomfort. Then you get the urge to do these things. But then once you get the urge, you can now become aware. You can either make the easy decision, which is the high dopamine releasing activity, or make the difficult decision, which is delay it and choose to do something different, which is where redirection comes in. When you get the urge, become aware of it and replace it with meaningful actions. Okay? So when you get that urge, now that you know what is happening, because I'm explaining to you, I showed you the graph. Now that you're aware of how your dopamine is going to look for the rest of the day if you continue to do these things, you now need to have the self control to make the difficult decision. And one thing that helped me is whenever I want to do a high dopamine releasing activity, it's like, bro, there's actually no point. If I wanted to watch corn, which I don't really have the urge to anymore, you know what's going to happen. You're going to have that post nut clarity and you're like, fuck, I did it again. Or you're going to play video games. It's going to be really fun. I'm not saying video games are bad, but if you're addicted to it and playing it every single day, bro, I remember I used to play Fortnite and bro, I would have so much like schoolwork to do. This was like back when I was in school, so much schoolwork to do, and it would stress me out. But I'm like, if I play Fortnite, I'll figure out the schoolwork after, and I'll just do it. But I would play Fortnite for like 2 or 3 hours straight, and I knew I had stuff to do. But once I was done playing Fortnite, I literally had no work ethic or motivation to do any of the schoolwork because that's earned dopamine and it leads you to a life you don't want to live. If you want to get rich and successful or you want to become the best version of yourself, you need to make these difficult decisions, and it starts with the awareness. I know it's difficult to break out of the loop, but the best part about it is that once you start to break out of the loop over and over and over again, it now becomes a habit, and you have a pattern recognition of now you know what to do. Every time you get the urge, you get aware and you enter a flow state. Like me doing this activity, making this presentation, making this YouTube video is going to put me in a flow state of now I want to do more earned dopamine activities. I want to go to the gym. I want to eat good food. I want to do all these things that are actually going to help me benefit my life. But if I start off with some bullshit in the morning, I'm not going to want to do that. Okay? So this is where most people get discipline messed up, right? You can't really be disciplined unless you're aware. So it starts with awareness because discipline is doing an activity you don't really prefer to do over a long enough period of time. But if you're always subconsciously making the decision and you're operating off your subconscious mind and not your conscious mind, it's really difficult to be disciplined. But if I become aware and I have this decision to start scrolling or start getting work done, the discipline is choosing to get the work done even though I want to scroll. So that is where the discipline comes in. But you can't really be disciplined if you automatically just go to scrolling because you're not even thinking about doing this. Okay, so you need to see it, pause, realize what is going to happen, and replace it with an earned dopamine activity. And I promise you, this has helped change my life, helped me lock in for the past 6 months, helped me become really disciplined, helped me get a better physique because I'm eating the foods that are going to benefit me instead of the high dopamine releasing activity foods or high dopamine or foods. It helped me work on my side hustle, work on my business without getting distracted. I promise you this will change your life once you start becoming aware of what is happening. It's not that you're lazy, it's not that you're unmotivated. You're addicted to dopamine. You're addicted to scrolling, addicted to smoking, addicted to playing video games, addicted to corn because you have these high dopamine activities that you're used to doing, and after you crash, you just want to get high again. Like it's an addiction. You really want to get high again off of dopamine. Okay, so you can't be doing these high dopamine activities in the morning, or else you're always going to be chasing that high for the rest of the day, and you're not going to be doing the earned dopamine activities that will actually lead you to a good life. All right, so use this every single day. Come back to this video, think of what is actually going to happen, so it can help change your life. Because I promise you, it can. And if you guys want one-on-one help with fitness, mentality, mindset, locking in your routine, your habits, so you can actually change your life, that is what I do. I help people with that. I also do, like I said, I do affiliate marketing. So that's my main income right now. But if you guys want any help with any of that, I promise you I can help you lock in with your routine, your habits, and I'm going to be on you. But don't come to me and be bullshit. Don't say you want to do it and then get back into your old habits because I don't want to work with anybody that's lazy. Obviously, you would come to me because that's your problem, but I'm actually going to make you work, okay? So if you guys want help, you guys can fill out the form below, book a call, and if it makes sense, we can work together. But again, I'm not working with just anybody. I need to make sure you're actually, willing to work, all right? So yeah, I'll leave a link down below, and hopefully this presentation helped you. Leave a like and a comment.